We've also got a fascinating men's 300 metres hurdles later, featuring Carsten Warholm and Alison dos Santos. But it is the women's 400 metres which gets the 2026 Diamond League season underway. So let's take you out to China and join your commentators, Chris Dennis and Hannah England.
Nickisha Pryce still holds the Jamaican national record at 48.57. She set that winning the London Diamond League back in 2024, another World Champs finalist last year. Sawa Nasser is on her season opener here. The 2019 World Champion took a brilliant bronze behind Sydney McLaughlin-Lavrone and Marilady Paulino last summer. Aaliyah Butler of United States takes lane 5. She's the Olympic and World Champion in the 4x400. Very good individual athlete as well, 49.09 her best. Martina Weil of Chile had a wonderful 2025, setting 10 national records. She ended up missing the final at the World Championships by just 1/100th of a second. So that lifetime best, 49.72, is the national record for Chile. Stacey Ann Williams of Jamaica goes in lane 3. This is her first 400 of the season. She ran 49.59 last year at the World Championships. She's actually been dabbling in 800s, Williams. She's got down to 2:02, so I wonder if there's a bit of a shift for the Jamaican for this next stage of her career. Paris Peoples takes lane 2 in the United States. This is her 12th 400 of 2026. She has got 2 global golds in the last few months, though, indoors and at the World Relays. And the final athlete in lane 1 is Kanondra Davis of the United States. New lifetime best set in Nairobi at the Kipkeino Classic, one of the Continental Tour Gold events. That's 51.46. So all 9 lanes being put to use here in the women's 400 metres. Sawa Nasser, one of the fastest women of all time, highlights this field in lane 6. Meeting record currently 49.63 from Noveline Williams-Mills, all the way back in 2006. Nasser often starts fast in her season. Let's see what she's got today. Great to see the crowds coming here to watch some of the best athletes in the world in the Shanghai Diamond League. And Sade Williams has gone off incredibly fast out in lane 9. It's quite hard if you can't see all the other athletes around you. And at the moment, Williams has pulled away from Gomez, but Aaliyah Butler, these athletes at this point in the season. And Nickisha Pryce so often goes tearing off and is then vulnerable in the last 100 metres. But here in 2026, I think the American has flipped her tactics and they've paid off here.
Well, what a race that was, and what a finish from Nickisha Pryce, who was just eating into Butler's lead metre by metre in the closing stages, and it was a photo finish. It didn't take long for the photo to come out with an official result. Pryce has been given it 49.75. The big surprise and disappointment really is Salwa Eid Nasser. We're just, as you mentioned in commentary, so used to seeing her start the season really with a flyer, and she was nowhere. Well down the field. Butler. And that was the difference in the end. Picked off on the line.
It was so well judged from Nickisha Pryce, and I mentioned that she's supremely talented. Sub-49 athlete, made that final in Tokyo, but to have a different way of running that as well, from what I normally see from Nickisha Pryce, was interesting and was impressive. People forget about the tactics in 400. You have to pace yourself absolutely perfectly. And Aaliyah Butler, it was brave and she held on pretty well, but Nickisha Pryce just with a superior finishing last 50 metres there to take the win by a tiny margin in the end, by just 300ths. A good third for...
So guys, the 2026 season is just getting started, and if this race is any indication, then we are in for one of the fastest years in history. They say the 400 meters is the man killer. That is where oxygen disappears and your legs turn to lead. But in Shanghai, It wasn't just about the lactic acid. It was about the statement. Looking at lane 7, we had Nickisha Pryce. 1 year ago, ladies and gentlemen, she was a rising star. But today, she's the target on everyone's back. And right next to her, we had the Bahrain bullet, Salo Eid Nasser, and the powerhouse from the US, Aaliyah, Butler. The world thought the season was just a warming up. But these women just turned the 2026 Diamond League into a battlefield. If you think the quarter mile is a slow burn, then you haven't been watching. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Larry Kagiran Covers. Remember, if you're coming across my channel for the first time, if you're coming across my video for the first time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment from wherever you're watching me from. So today I want us to break down why this race changed everything completely. Now, you understand, before even the gun goes off, looking at the depth in this field, it was absolutely stacked. In lane 9, we had Sada Williams. She is the ultimate sleeper, two-time world bronze medalist, and she knows how to run a blind race from the outside. She doesn't need to see. She just needed to feel the rhythm. Then you have the Jamaican duo, Nickisha Pryce and Stacey Ann Williams, perfectly designed for the track and field. Jamaica has been dominating the sprints for decades, and we all understand that. But the 400 meter has become the new gold mine. Pryce is coming off of a massive 2025 season where she finally dipped under the 49 seconds barrier. Ladies and gentlemen, but don't blink at lane 5, where we had Aaliyah Butler. She is the new face of the American quarter-mile dominance. She's hungry, she's aggressive, and she's here to prove that the US isn't just watching the Jamaican takeover. For years, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen and we've experienced, we've had the privilege to experience a massive showdown between a Jamaica and the USA when it comes to the world of track and field. And the truth be told, they have never failed to deliver. These two nations, they have the heat, they carry the heat, they carry the weight, they carry the power, they carry the momentum that we as the fans of track and field need. Whenever we experience a race whereby we have a green, black and gold and an athlete from USA, then automatically we expect a brilliant performance. Now in Shanghai, the atmosphere was electric. Early May, the humidity is just starting to creep, and the track was completely fast. Pryce gets a decent start, but when you look at Butler in lane 5, she was out like a rocket. In the 400 meters, ladies and gentlemen, you have to find that sweet spot. That 95% effort where you are moving fast but not burning the fuel too early. I know professional drivers understand when we say you move fast but you don't burn the fuel too early. And by the 100-meter mark, the staggers were starting to eat themselves. Salo Eid Nasser in lane 6 was looking smooth, but remember, she's the 2019 world champion. She knows how to navigate this bend. But when you look at Nickisha Pryce, she wasn't panicking. She was tall, she was relaxed, and she was holding that position. This is the chase mark, or the match over track and field. If you go too hard now, you die at the 350 mark. If you are too lazy, then it's automatically you're chasing the shadows. Ladies and gentlemen, coming off the curve, this is where the race truly begins. It's Pryce versus Butler. They are shoulder to shoulder. The crowd is on its feet. Butler is fighting her form. But Nickisha Pryce has that Jamaican strength. I mean, you can see the grit on their faces. Pryce is digging deep. Every stride is a battle against the clock. Salwa Eid Nasser is right there in third. But the real fight was in the middle. Is it the middle or the middle? Was in the middle of the track. Now, Pryce, on the other hand, finds another gear. In those final 20 meters, where the heat wants to stop, she leans into it. She crosses the line with a time of 49.75 seconds. Aaliyah Butler is a fraction behind, having clocked a time of 49.78 seconds. Yes, think about that for a second. We are talking about 300ths of a second. After 400 meters of sprinting, that's the length of a fingernail. That's the definition of an elite competition. So, what does this tell us? First of all, Nickisha Pryce for real, or rather she was for real. To win a Diamond League opener under 50 seconds in May, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people, that's scary. That's Olympic gold territory. Yes, we are talking about the Olympic gold territory. You heard me right. Second, Aaliyah Butler is the real deal for the USA team. She didn't just let Pryce run away with it. She stayed in the fight until the very last millisecond, not even second, millisecond. You understand how tight that was? In the world of track and field, every second, every millisecond counts. Every time matters. And for Salwa Eid Nasser, ladies and gentlemen, finishing third, running a time over 51.56. Truth be told, that was a solid season opener. But she has work to do if she wants to catch these two by the time the World Championships rolls around. But what do you think about this race and these beautiful athletes? Can Nickisha Pryce maintain this form all the way to the finals? Or is Butler going to find those extra 300ths of a second in the next meet? As usual, engage me in the comment section. Tell me what to think of this video, and of course, I really love to hear from you, your opinion about my breakdown and my commentary today. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I've been your host, Larry Kagira. Remember, if you're coming across my channel for the first time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also comment. To my returning subscribers, my returning viewers, I have to say this. Thank you so much for your love and your support, as it goes a long way in ensuring that my channel grows. Remember, this video is majorly meant for entertainment and educational purposes only, and all credits goes to the original creators or broadcasters of this video. So until we meet again in the next episode, peace out and one love.